Welcome, everybody, to the TNM podcast with me, Tom.
And me, Mark.
It is good to be back. Thank you to those that are listening on podcast services. Some of you will be hearing this and thinking, what the hell, where have you guys been for the last several months? So I think it's best, Mark, that we address the
elephant in the room.
I don't know if you want to, give your opinion on these rumours, but I managed to get a few of them.
Okay.
A few of the big ones.
I love giving my opinion on anything, so yeah, go for it.
Well, these are just a couple. I don't know if you're aware of these, but these are some of the things that the press have been saying. So the Sunrise has said Tom got offered dancing on ice.
That'd be more like Bambi on ice.
Now, I can't comment on that currently. But, watch this space.
We're not too far from Alexandra Palace, so...
No, we're not. So you never know. I could get a late call-up, I guess. We also had the Weekly Mail said that Mark and Tom are no longer on talking terms due to Tom's 6-figure contract and Mark only getting £4 an episode.
I mean, it's an anger point. I must say, it's definitely an anger point from my side.
It hasn't put a wedge between us.
No, we're still definitely on talking terms. Let's put it that way.
On talking terms.
But unfortunately, I am having to speak to my lawyers at this point to see what is going on. And
I am seeking legal advice.
Seeking legal advice, exactly.
This is the problem. I told you to read the contract before you signed anything. I said, read the contract. Yeah. So those are a couple of the things that came up. We can say that essentially what has happened is towards the end of last year. Obviously, you regular listeners will know that I'm now a dad, so we were in the latter stages of pregnancy and everything that goes with that. So it wasn't easy for us to meet up. Mark, no. You had, without going into your details of your private life, you had some health stuff going on. For a bit. Yeah, and essentially it was nothing to do with us not wanting to record this, because I absolutely love doing this. I know that I hope that you do still, Mark, because you've come back.
I thought about not. I was like, this is ridiculous. I've had enough of this guy.
The way around all these issues was that we thought we could record from home. Do it live, do it on a stream like this.
Mark was in prison for causing a disturbance in Greg's Sutu. Yeah, I was not happy at all.
It was those vegan sausage rolls.
It was exactly that.
You should have seen him kick off about those. Lard saying, "I blame Carol Baskin for the issues."
Tom's still using Windows 95. He asked Jeeves how to stream. I love it.
See, this is the beauty of doing it live. We get interaction from listeners, from viewers. So it was the whole reason, not the whole reason, but it was one of the strong points of this is going to be really fun. So hopefully we can sort this out once this whole lockdown is out the way. I'll talk with Mark off podcast and we'll try and figure out a way of me updating my PC after 8 years and actually getting one that works. Getting one that works properly.
Yeah, Vicky said we can only hear bits and bobs, so I don't know whether you want to stop the stream now or...
When we finished the last one, we said that we were going to talk about sex in video games, weren't we? That was our planned thing that we're going to talk about. But so much time has passed since then that we kind of just decided, actually, we'll start fresh. We'll give it a clean slate.
Yep.
And so now we're going to talk about basically just talking about catching up.
I think that's the key to it. We need to catch up.
Yeah,
a lot's gone on. A lot's gone on since we last spoke. and that we are living in crazy times, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Firstly, I think it's good to say that me and you were both okay during all this.
Yeah.
You thought you might have had it.
I still think I did. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I'm never going to know until I've been tested. But I had every symptom, including the bloody taste and smell disappearing, which was the weirdest thing ever. Very, very strange. But yeah, I mean, it felt like it went round my household, and then it's gone now. So I think we've all done quite well, really, and we're all okay. So yeah,
that's good. And we Touchwood haven't had any issues as of yet. So all is good here. But yeah, just in general, very, very weird, very, very random time that no one saw coming. And it's thrown such a massive spanner in the work with so much.
Yeah.
I mean, if we start off with just sort of recent events, the delay on games like The Last of Us 2 now, indefinitely delayed. And that for me was like, we're not going to get too negative on like the seriousness of the whole thing. Obviously, there are people dying around the world. These are very much like very, very much first world problems. But from a gaming point, which is where we're coming from, the delays now to games like The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I mean, they've said that Cyberpunk is still on. It's still on target for coming out. I don't know now about any games. I mean, I don't see it happening.
I suppose if you think about it, when it comes to these games being produced and being made by the designers and the programmers and everything else, those guys are in an office with a super powerful computer each. Right? Yeah. They get sent home, and what are they going to have? Unless they buy a whole or get those computers shipped to their houses, then do you know? I mean, it's going to be difficult. And even also the fact of them collaborating with each other, they're sitting next to each other, working on a game, working on bits and pieces each. They all talking all the time. So it must just put such a massive spanner in the works in terms of making the game.
Yeah, and I think that as well, I don't think a lot of people are realising the distribution side of it. You know, they said specifically that these games, The Last of Us 2, is probably 98% done. They're probably just sort of touching up the last little bits of it. But the fact that they can't really, because that's what they said, that they can't give it the launch that it deserves.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because when you look at the Final Fantasy VII remake that's just been launched, now that's they kind of went, well, the game's done, the game's ready to go, but because they knew that there was going to be distribution problems, they fired it out ahead of its release. I've never heard of that happening before, but its release date was, I think, the 10th of April, and they came out a week or so before saying, look, some of you guys are going to get this game a week before it's due to be released, because with everything that's going on, we've just had to fire this thing out, get it out there to everybody. And they actually came out and said, please do not ruin this game for people who aren't going to get their copies until after the 10th. And also the other thing that's messing things up is the fact that you've got the shops now that say like myself. I mean, I pre-ordered at Christmas as a Christmas present. I pre-ordered The Last of Us 2, and I got an email from Amazon saying, obviously that's now been delayed. Yeah. But people that have ordered games that are still coming, like Final Fantasy VII, if they've ordered them to their stores are now shut.
Yeah.
So they can't go and pick these games up. And when they've been calling up to say, I want to cancel my game, people have said, the shops have been said, well, you've already paid for it.
Yeah.
You can't cancel it now. It's too late. So you're just going to have to wait until we reopen, which could be God knows when the shops are going to open, and then come pick up your game.
Yeah, literally no idea. I mean, I think it will make the games industry question why there is still so much presence around physical games, and the fact that they're shipping out these consoles that have very small hard drives, really. Like 500 meg, a gig, sort of in the PS4, the basic PS4, it's not big enough. If we're going to start going down the digital route more, and we've talked about this before, they need to start putting bigger hard drives. And the fact that the PS5 and the Xbox, what's it called, Series X, whatever it is, are both shipping with 1 gig hard drives in, is beyond bizarre, because these games are surely going to take up a lot more space on these new consoles.
But does stuff like this show how strong? I mean, I know that everyone wants us to go to a digital future, but has this kind of shown how strong the physical versions of these games are? Because obviously, when you're stopped, they could have easily said, "Look, guys, we're just going to release The Last of Us 2 digitally." And then physical copies will come when we can ship them. But they haven't, and you kind of think, well, there's obviously then still a massive market. It's not as small. The physical market isn't as small as you guys are alluding to, because clearly it's stopping you from releasing games.
And the fact that they're still charging the same price for digital and physical is bizarre. Actually, you get physical cheaper, don't you? Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of the game and all these other stores, and then all the online stores, they'll do deals on them when the games come out. So it's like that digital world is not going to happen unless they really fix it up. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think this has definitely exposed some frailties, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean it is good. The positives are that from a digital point of view, you can still get games now. The shops are shut, but if you still want to buy, as long as they're being released or they have been released, you can still buy these games. You can still get your hands on these games, and that in itself is incredible. I mean, it shows. They say that the one industry that is recession proof is the games industry. Because it's shown from previously when we've had recessions and stuff in the past, the industry has always done well because of escapism, and people will invest their money in something that they're going to get a lot of entertainment out of, as opposed to wasting it on money on other things. And I think that was shown in March. I mean, this March, Steam hits record users. I don't know if you heard about this.
Really? Wow.
So 20.31 million users on Steam, concurrent users on Steam in March, and that was up from 6 million from September 2019. So that's midst of all this virus and
amazing
and lockdown. People are,
because everyone's home.
Everyone's working from home.
Play games. Working from home.
Dual monitors, one with World of Warcraft and one with work going on.
Oh, good. So it's crazy.
I think from that point of view, in terms of from the gaming industry point of view, the recession, going to talk about recessions now, the isolation factor hasn't really affected the industry as such compared to other things, because like we were saying, you can still use games and play games. It's just how it's going to knock on games that are now to be released for the foreseeable future. And I don't know, no one knows. I think this is the problem. No one's got a time frame on this. No one really understands how long this is going to go on for.
No, exactly.
What it's going to be like when we come out, because when we come out of lockdown, it's still going to affect things.
Well, people aren't going to be the same for a very long time. And if at all, do you know what I mean? You might find that things are just different from now on. That's kind of what I was thinking. But I think from a games industry perspective, I think it's going to be mainly down to how many games can actually be released and how many games can be fully completed. It's the same in the movie industry. The movie industry is a lot worse actually, because they need physical actors, right? In the games industry, it's as the voiceovers they can all be done remotely. Do you know what I mean?
Unless they've got motion capture or anything like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I don't know. It depends on the type of game. Then I suppose that's kind of what we're alluding to. I suppose, isn't it? If it's a game that doesn't need motion capture, they can just knock them out. But if it does, then it's like the movies. You just can't make them. You can't. It's impossible.
No.
So.
And I mean, it might be great for indie. This might be another really, really great moment for indie games to shine, because if you think that AAA games like Paul was just saying in the chat, Ghost of Tsushima, will that be now delayed? Because that was supposed to only be I think that was June, I think, wasn't it, or June or July? That was meant to come out. Will that now be delayed? And if all these AAA titles who want these physical sales as part of their promotion and everything else, if they're relying on that, but indie games won't be. If indie games can just be like, hey, you know what, we're still on target to release. We've finished the game. Our studio. I mean, I know that Mike Bithell, his studio, they all work from home already.
Yeah.
So they've got the John Wick game that's due to come out soon, and he was saying that the isolation lockdown hasn't really affected the way his business works, because he'd already set his company up to work from home. So all of his team, obviously there would have been bits they would have already done, whether it was, like you said, recording with actors for voice parts or anything like that. But for the most part, his team can work on their game without any drama, without any issues. And I just think maybe for the smaller teams, this could be a great opportunity for the next sort of 4, 5, 6 months to be pushing their games to the forefront, because PlayStation and Microsoft, Sony, even Nintendo, they're all going to want to still sell games for their consoles, aren't they? So
yeah, of course, yeah.
Getting fresh indie games could be the way that they go about it.
I mean, Nintendo massively jumped on that bandwagon. Like the amount of indie games in the Nintendo store on the Switch is unreal. There's tons and tons already, and they were doing really well out of that before any of this happened. So I bet you it has definitely helped them having all those there. But I mean, they've released games recently that are going to be absolutely smashing it. Look at Animal Crossing. Like, that has absolutely smashed it. So many people have bought that since being locked down. It's unreal. Yeah. Even if you just look on Twitter and search up Animal Crossing, the amount of people talking about that game. Considering, I
saw a tweet yesterday from what is her name? The one of the girls in Game of Thrones. She was the Arya Stark.
Oh, okay, yeah. Maisie, whatever her name is, yeah.
Maisie, that's it. Maisie, whatever her surname is. She tweeted saying, "How do I get on this Twitch thing? Because I just want people to watch me play Animal Crossing."
Oh my god. Well, I mean, I bought it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. I pre-ordered it and it came physical copy. And it's a really fun little game. There's no strings to it, you know. It's just fun, easy. You just mess about in it and just do stuff and grind. There's a lot of grind in that game, a hell of a lot of grind. You end up weeding for money. Like, it's bizarre, and you end up fishing for money.
Not selling weed,
but it's a fun
money. Game,
and anyone can play it. You know, there's no kind of skill to it really. It's just a lot of grinding and whatever. So it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that it's done well during this time, because a lot of people that would never normally have the time to play games, they've now got that time. So,
and it works on a 24-hour clock as well, right? I've never played Animal Crossing, so I'm not.
Sorry, mate. One sec.
Oh, Mark's headphones appear to have run out of battery.
Powering on. Mic on.
And he now can't hear me.
Oh, there you go. I can hear you now.
Funny faces.
That was weird. I can hear you now.
Okay. I was just wanting to clarify that when you said about the weed thing, that wasn't selling weed. That was just a lot of weeding.
Weeding.
For money.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You weed around the island. I call my island isolation as well, which I thought was quite amusing. So you go around and you weed, literally picking weeds out the ground to go and sell it to this little raccoon thing. I can't even remember the name. And they buy him up by Tom Nook's his boss. So you buy. Oh, okay. There's another one of the little things that that buy the weeds off you. Not weed. But that would be like Weed Simulator that I played previously.
You played a weed simulator?
Oh man, I need to send you the video. I played.
I need to see that.
That was a lot of fun. You run a little weed shop basically in California. It's quite funny. Anyway,
where it's legal. Where
digress exactly. But I bought Animal Crossing. So I've bought 2 games I think since lockdown, because I've got so many games backed up. I'm not like short of games in any way, shape or form. But the 2 games I got were Animal Crossing, which was physical, and then I bought Brain Training on the Switch. Have you ever seen Brain? Okay. Do you remember Brain Training used to be on the DS?
I remember Brain Training on the DS, yeah. I was selling loads of those at HMV when I...
Yeah, exactly. My bloody headset keeps going. I think maybe
plug it in.
Maybe the battery's dying, was it?
There is nothing but technical issues today.
Cutting in and out. There we go. It is literally the day for Gremlins. It
is awful, isn't it?
So yeah, Brain Training. I bought digital, and I actually went via CD keys, which a lot of people are against buying games off CD keys. But on the Nintendo store, it was like £25. On CD keys, it was £18, and I was just like, why would I spend an extra £7 just to get it from the Nintendo store? Do you know what I mean? So grabbed a copy from CD keys, and it's great. It's great. It's exactly what you would expect it to be.
That's something as well that we didn't talk about is that like the back catalogue style of things. So from now, as much as we can't play games that aren't released, or meant to be released now, everyone's getting now a chance to go through that back catalogue of games and to try and catch up. I know that The Witcher 3 has sold as many copies now as it did in 2015. I think it was when it was released.
Wow.
So you think that's mental. That game's like 5 years old.
That's insane.
It's seriously insane. It's like 5 years old, and it's now sold as many copies this year as it did when it was first released. I know that obviously The Witcher came out on Netflix. That was a massive push for it. Massively, But it's definitely a time to get in your back catalogue.
Well, also they're doing
from the back catalogue.
They're doing a lot of deals, aren't they, on games that people should have played by now? That's what I've noticed. So like Spider-Man on the PS4, God of War. There's all these games that they're doing deals on right now, it's any other time I'd probably call it quite cynical, but not at the moment. It's like everyone's at home and they need some kind of entertainment. So a game like Spider-Man is ideal for a lot of different people. But yeah, I've been playing God of War. That's what I've been playing on the PS4. I never played it until now. Game. It's amazing that I just haven't had the time. And so I was like, yeah, I'll play that. So I've been playing God of War, Animal Crossing, bit of Brain Training here and there, and then I've been playing Turok. You remember the old N64 game?
Yeah, I used to love Turok.
Dinosaur Hunter. So they remastered it. Going back to one of our previous podcast episodes, remasters, remakes. This remaster they put on Steam, and I bought it as part of a Humble Bundle ages ago. Completely forgot about it, and then I was like, I really need to play that. So I opened it up, and I was like, it is honestly, it's amazing how good it is on PC. Using mouse and keyboard is phenomenal compared to bloody playing that game with an N64 controller. The days
anything with that N64 controller was a nightmare.
Turok was awful though, because there's so much jumping onto little platforms constantly in that game. Yeah. Doing that with that awful N64 analog stick was it was terrible. So yeah, I've been playing that on stream, and it's been awesome. It's been really, really good. So yeah.
Have they updated the graphics and stuff for it in the remaster or the remake, or have they just
full 1080p, full
really?
Yeah, and they've updated all the graphics, and they've done such a great job with it, and they've also let you mess around a lot with the settings. So there's a lot of settings in that game that you would never have had access to on the N64. Things like the head bobbing when you walk. The head bobbing is the most annoying thing, and it really annoyed me on the N64. But I just turned it off. I was like, "Wow, this is perfect." So
no head bobbing.
No head bobbing. It was so annoying.
It's almost like a hardness difficulty. If you just turn, the harder you want the game, the more head bobbing that the character will do during walking.
Oh god, yeah. So it's amazing. They've done a fantastic job of it. Now, that's literally I've played that for about 5 hours on stream in the past like 2 days. So I've enjoyed that. What about you?
Well, I am currently playing through Resident Evil 3 on the channel, but then after Resident Evil 3, I'm going to play Control.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen or played any of that. I know it's not an old game by any means, but it's one that I wasn't able to play last year. I think it was released. So it's always been there. People have said to me, it's a really good game. It's really worth playing. And I thought I was going to go from Resident Evil 3 to The Last of Us 2.
Oh, okay.
But obviously now that that's been delayed,
I'm
going to fill that gap with Control and finally get to give that a go. Nice. So I'm looking forward to that because I've heard really, really good things about it. But yeah, so there's a silver lining to every cloud, and I think the fact that we're going to be able to play some back catalogue games or go back to games that you might have missed for whatever reason because you were too busy at the time.
Yeah,
that's a good thing. And these games, the important thing to remember is these games are delayed. They're not The Last of Us 2 is not coming.
No,
at some point it will be coming. It's just a matter of being, you have to be a bit patient at moments like this. But when I think it's easy to be patient when you realise how serious stuff is going on out there. People are losing their lives, and in reality, this isn't a big issue. We can wait another 4 or 5 months for The Last of Us 2. It's not that big a deal.
No, exactly. I think the more worrying thing is whether people can wait 4 or 5 months longer without going to work, or do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. That's where the real problems are. Yeah. But I suppose it's I don't know. It depends how you look at it, really, because on the flip side of that, all those guys that are making the games, they're contractors mostly, aren't they? So they're probably currently out of work. Do you know what I mean? So they're probably all furloughed or something along those lines. I don't know how it works with them, but so there's a lot more. You have to think a lot further, don't you? Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, you want to hope these companies that are creating the games don't go bust during this time and lose out
halfway through making a game or something.
Yeah, I think the hopeful thing about it is that everyone's kind of in this situation isn't isolated to one set of people. This is everybody. So whether it's these companies, whoever these companies are working for, or having to pay rent to, or whoever, everyone's in the same boat. And I think that hopefully that will then be passed on. There'll be cutting slack for people because everyone kind of realizes, well, this is an unprecedented situation that we don't know how to deal with this really, and we're all just trying to do the best we can. Is what you would hope. I mean, speaking about hopeful, I saw the tweet yesterday that EGX is apparently still going ahead.
In September, right?
In September, yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Madness.
Not going to happen.
Well, the fact that where they're doing EGX
right?
In the O2, the XL is currently an emergency hospital for thousands of dying people with this disease.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get that for September. I just don't see it happening. But
and that, like, even just that clean-up operation of that hospital once we're kind of over the hump is going to be insane. Anyway, it's going to take months, right?
Yeah, because they're not going to let anyone go near that.
No, exactly.
Let alone let thousands of people in.
Yeah, just to play games. Not even just to play games, just to see new games, right? We could do that online. It's not the end of the world if we have to wait till next year for another expo. Like, that's kind of, as much as we would love to be going to expos now and have that normality, I can live without it. I'm not gonna have any problems.
Even if it goes ahead this year, I won't be going.
No, I don't think many people will. I'd be very surprised if many people do. Do you know what I mean?
It's just not worth. It's just not worth the risk. I mean, E3's been cancelled, so we know that that's not happening. I think that like it was very, very weird to watch the BAFTAs. So I don't know if you watched it.
I didn't get to. I was busy that evening. I caught some of your stream afterwards, which made me laugh. You and your little dicky bow tie. I wish I'd seen it live at the time. I must not have had my notifications switched on for Twitch, but it looked fun for you, but looked like it was quite strange.
It was a lot of fun, but it was bizarre. I mean, knowing, for those of you who don't know, the BAFTAs is essentially the Oscars for the games industry. They take it very seriously. It's a black tie event, prestigious sort of awards. They normally have a big sit-down dinner. They have guests that come and present and all this. This year, they wanted to keep it going, which is brilliant because we want to see the awards keep going. But they did it online only, and it was hosted by Dara O'Brien, who is he's done it for a long time, and he was superb. He was hilarious, but he was presenting it from his front room, and I kid you not, right? The acceptance speeches that were coming in were all videos from home that people have made. Now, if I tell you, Mark, that some of these acceptance speeches, in one video there was a sheep. Right. In one video there was a goose.
Oh my god.
We saw a dog and a mannequin. And these acceptance speeches, because obviously these people who are really quirky creators making these games, they usually get dragged to these black tie events
and get made to dress up, right?
They're made to come out of their comfort zone. When you then say to them, just do it from home, make a video. The stuff that was coming back, it was fantastic to watch, and it was entertaining. But you kind of sat there thinking, the people at BAFTA must be thinking, this is kind of making a mockery of our awards, and it did feel like that. If it didn't feel like the BAFTAs, it almost felt like you were watching You've Been Framed.
Do you think they could have made it better? Like, do you think it was down to how they made it, or do you think they've just got no choice?
I think they could have. Well, the other thing is they were quite strapped for time, right? Because this has all happened, and they've probably had about a month or so, maybe less than that, before the event. So they've kind of been strapped for time in that sense. But I think they definitely could have made it feel more professional if they said to the people who were doing their acceptance speeches, look, this is what's the word I'm looking for, this is like the script as such. We want you to be dressed. You need to be dressed, formally. You need to.
Well, the standards. Do it on a white background. All that kind of stuff. Yeah, this needs to be the the standard. Whereas it kind of felt like what you got the impression was just do what you want.
they probably thought, like me or you would. Oh, guys, look, you can't make it. Can you do your acceptance? Do us a little acceptance video. And then cool. And you could just imagine the person that was receiving those acceptance speech videos must have been thinking, oh my god, someone's head's gonna roll here for this.
Wow. I mean, I've done like videos in the past on YouTube where I've requested YouTubers to send me clips, and I've cobbled them together and made a video. I don't know if you've ever seen those. I'll have to send you the link, but it was a lot of fun to make.
I did see that. I mean, we're talking years ago, right?
Years, yeah.
I did watch them, and they were very impressive. And I think if you look at your comments, I actually did comment saying, Mark, very impressive.
I take it all back. But making that, I had to put some guidelines down. I had to say, please make
guidelines
it in this format. Guidelines is what you want. So make it in this format. Make it. I didn't tell them what to say or what to do or anything like that. Obviously, that's not how any of it works. But just like you say, the standards, the guidelines, just to try and make it seem fairly, so it'd be a smooth
You want
video.
continuity,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, continuity, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no reason they couldn't have just said to all those people, look, please, just at least make a bit of an effort. If you dress up, because it's an award show, like it's for the awards, blah blah blah, dress up a bit, do it on like a fairly nice background. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. Then you would have had some continuity, and it would have, I don't know whether it would have made it better or what, but.
Well, it's like today, right? We were going to shoot this for the first time. I said, Mark, this is live. Make sure you tidy up your house.
I was just going to do it in bed.
Mark was originally in the bath when I first started just okay, a little rubber ducky and a load of bubbles around him. I said, can't be filming this for the bath.
No, what's wrong with you?
We're on professional continuity.
Make an effort.
Episode.
All right, let's move on. So one of the things I think we said we were going to talk about was stuff that's gone free or like trials and stuff like that during this period. And I think there's been some really, really interesting things go on where clearly these games, video game companies have realised that there's a lot of people at home. Let's give them give them some nice free stuff to keep them going and all that kind of stuff. I'm surprised there hasn't been any kind of Netflix deals actually on that front, but let's not go there. I think the most obvious one was the Stadia deal, where Stadia are giving 2 months for free, which is actually, if you think about trials, Disney Plus did 1 week, right? Which I think was a complete piss take. What's the point? Because I did the week and missed the week, flew by. I watched like 2 things and then it charged me. I was like, oh shit! Now I've paid for a month. Do you know what I mean? And I cancelled it. So
apparently that's due to the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian's being shown week by week as well. It's not all up there at once.
Yeah, which is what they didn't, because they didn't want people to use they didn't want people to use their month pass. Apparently, this is
they've restricted
rumor.
Out of that that week, like restrict it so that you can't watch the whole of the Mandalorian, but everything else is good to go. It just a week is no time at all. It was just a hook, wasn't it? And I got hook, line, and sinkered into it, right, massively. But I think Stadia doing 2 months is good because that's actually a good amount of time for you to that's going to get us quite far into this isolation. Do you know what I mean? It's going to get us quite far into the lockdown.
Do you think that? And I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. I'm not trying to slap Stadia, but it's amazing that they're doing it. But they had always planned to do a free version. Right.
It's just the pro version that they're doing at the moment, right? For free for 2 months.
I think so, but they're planning on doing that. They were planning on doing a free version of it. Yeah. That they've obviously brought forward. So it's kind of like how they market it as you're going to get a free version of Stadia for 2 months. There is a free version coming.
Right. Okay.
Which I don't know if you knew about.
I didn't know that. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is what I kind of was like. Oh, yeah, well, it's a nice thing you're doing, but you did plan on doing that, and then from the people that have paid sort of 100 and what was the starter pack, like £110. £110 must be sitting there thinking, oh great, what am I going to get a refund for my £110 that I've now paid for?
But then they got a Chromecast and they got a controller with that 110. As much as that's still a lot of money because a Chromecast, what, 30 quid? The controller, that means the controller is 80 quid for the controller. Consider it, and like you say, because it's free now, it's like that means you pay for that hardware. You get Destiny 2, yeah. You get Grid. I've got it up here. Let's have a look at what games are on it. Serious Sam Collection. Grid's a good one, to be fair. That's pretty good for free.
I haven't tried Stadia, and I won't be trying Stadia just because it's not something that I need or want to use.
I mean, Red Dead 2 is £48 on Stadia.
Have you played any Stadia?
I haven't yet. No, I've literally signed up to it today, and managed to bag the Game Shed as my username, which I was quite happy about.
Nice.
But there's let me look at the Stadia Pro games: Destiny 2, Grid, Guilt, Serious Sam, Steam World. That's it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. Thumper, Spitlings, random games. And Destiny 2's free anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
So like Grid is the only thing there that's really worth having. It's bizarre. It is bizarre.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I mean, you look at Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty about the they've come out and said we were planning on bringing out, is it Modern Warfare? I haven't got this in the notes.
Remastered.
The remaster version of Call of Duty, but they brought that forward. But they brought it forward only for the PlayStation users.
And £20, right?
Xbox users have got to wait another month, and it's just like I know that these are probably good will gestures, but I kind of just think it's a cynical part of me that just thinks just trying to. You guys, you're not the little guys that are, you're trying to cash in here, and you're on what you think. Oh, let's quickly get that out now because this is when people will buy it. That's just me being cynical. I'm sure it's not the case. I'm sure that all these things are coming from a good place and not a business place. But
yeah, I mean that wasn't free either. Do you know what I mean? They charged £20 for that, and really that's I think that's quite a lot for a remaster. No, I don't know.
But it doesn't have all the stuff, right?
I don't know. I haven't even looked into it because it was £20. I was like, no, I'm not playing that. I'll buy it on sale.
Going off just again because I didn't put this in the notes. I'm just going off from what I can kind of remember. I don't think it definitely doesn't have the Spec Ops missions
right
that you had in it, which are really cool. I don't know if you got to do those like the standalone missions that you could do with your mates and they were really good.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's got the has it got the multiplayer? It has either got the multiplayer.
No, I think it's just a single player story.
It's just a single player,
yeah.
So it's £20. It's £20 just for the single player with no Spec Ops and no multiplayer.
Yeah.
So it's just a very bizarre thing.
You might as well buy the new Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't get it. It's bizarre. So some of the other things that have gone free are Call of Duty Warzone. I think that was recent. That was
yeah.
I think that was during lockdown, wasn't it, or just before?
I think that was planned. That was an always planned to come out. But yeah, that's a free to play game.
Let's see what else. I think they made PUBG free for a little while or something. I'm pretty sure they did. They made Football Manager free for something like 3 weeks or something like that, which I found bizarre. And at the same time, really annoying because I bought it like 3 weeks ago.
That's what you don't want. That's what it really stings. And you I've just shelled out however much for it, and it's now free.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm sure there's tons on Steam. I know that Humble Bundle have done a big COVID bundle where they're donating all the proceedings to all the profit to the oh my god, I can't even talk, the COVID charity, whatever that charity is. Yeah, I think it's finished now. Actually, I think it was only for a couple of days. Yeah, it's not even up there anymore, which is bizarre.
There's a lot.
I thought they'd just keep that going.
With that charity, I mean, I don't know if you've also seen about because obviously this is wider than gaming. This has affected all sports, anything that's kind of like competitive in any way, shape, or form, which crosses over a lot with gaming. When you look at football and FIFA, and so I think that I'm right in saying that there's been a lot of the Formula One drivers who can't race now. Yeah. Because of this, but they've been playing out their races online against esports gamers in the F1 game.
Yes,
and then raising funds for the COVID-19 charity that we can't remember off the top of our heads, but they've been raising money for that. And it was interesting as well that all the FIFA. There was a tweet out, I don't know if you saw that, from a couple of the Premier League sides saying that they're going to put together a FIFA tournament with using their, playing their matches in the FIFA games. So it's really cool that even
England players actually were streaming, playing. So there was Rashford and a couple of the other England players were streaming themselves playing FIFA against each other, and playing as England against whoever.
Yeah,
and that was run by the FA, so that was an official England team thing that they had to do. But yeah, I think these little things are amazing, and I think I've been watching, Lando Norris, the F1 driver.
Yeah.
He's got a Twitch channel, and I think he's had that Twitch channel for a while, and he's been playing games on it and whatever. He's also now got a YouTube channel. He's building that little brand on those sites. But it's amazing to watch. I watched the actual Grand Prix when they did that live, playing F1 2019, and it didn't have all the people. It had a couple of the drivers, and then a whole load of sort of ex-drivers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was a real great to watch. But and it looks so real, that game. I think that's the other thing. That's the other thing that's crazy.
It's like a simulator, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks like you're watching the racing. It's amazing. So yeah. I don't know if there's any other charity things that have been going on gaming wise. I haven't noticed them.
I think there are a lot out there, but it's just it's good to see gaming get reflected so positively in the press. When you're seeing positive news stories on Sky Sports News about games, and you're seeing it on, you've got it's such a 180 of the media are now saying stay in, play games. You can. Even there was a governor in America saying, like, we need gamers to come together and band together to help us out in this situation. And you do kind of think, well, if we are, as like gamers, the best people to deal with this isolation, when they're like, oh, we don't, when people say, oh, gamers, they don't know how to socialize, they're always stuck indoors, they don't know what to do. Now you've got all these people who are used to being outside, who are looking at us to be like, well, why are you guys all right? And we're like, well, because we do socialize. We're socializing we're socializing right now. We're always socializing. We're always having fun. We're always keeping our minds active. And there's a reason why, gamers are sitting there going, well, that's cool. Our station's all right for us. We'll just play online multiplayer with our friends. Yeah. We'll just pick up a back catalogue of games that we haven't been able to play for a while. And you've got other people who are really struggling. And this is going to be a massive mental health issue as well for people who are stuck indoors now for a long period of time. And I think it's right. I think Dara O'Brien said it during the BAFTAs. He said, this is a time where gamers need to share how what we do with other people, bring people that haven't played games into the fold, because it'll open up not only to a massive new audience of people, but it will just give a new appreciation for the fact that this medium of storytelling and interactivity isn't negative; it's a positive thing.
And why do the press feel the need to make gaming look bad all the time? Do you know what I mean? As they have in the past. I mean, not now, but they kind of have. They've given a really bad stereotype to gamers. A lot of the media have in general given a bad stereotype to gamers. And it's kind of now it's like, oh shit, actually these guys are quite used to talking to their friends online, playing with their friends online, not worrying about being locked down so much, because they're able to socialize with that group of friends that they never see anyway. Like, there's people that are playing games together, been playing games together for years, that have never met each other, but like best friends. Do you know what I mean? That stuff goes on all the time, and I think I'm glad that it's kind of coming.
It's a shame that it takes something like this to then for gaming to then be put in. It takes something so drastically negative for where they're like, well, for this to be put in, for what we enjoy to be put into a positive light. And like you said, the media is a bizarre machine, and it's all, we know that it's all because of we're sort of not brainwashed, but we're told what they want people to believe, what they want people to hear. And I think a lot of it comes from the media being threatened, basically. I mean, if you think the media, the newspapers and the TV and the news channel, they're all sort of in the same sort of ballpark, whereas gaming, it takes you away from all that. Like, I think we're getting more now to the point where people, for the most part, I mean, for me, growing up with TV like Sky and things like that, I could probably not do with Sky anymore. I could quite happily have a gaming console that has YouTube on it, has Netflix on it, and video game entertainment, and be more than happy with that. And I think that the younger generations, especially, I think you're going to see it in the next sort of 30, 40 years, as from from Charlie, that they're going to be moving away from sort of TV and away from reading newspapers and that kind of thing, and it's just all going to be much more focused on the YouTubes and your Netflix and your games and stuff like that. And I don't think a lot of it is the media doesn't want you to think they're good, because they're trying to maintain that, we're the thing to watch, we're the thing to read. Don't be distracted. Don't be distracted by that stuff. I think there's a lot of that.
Don't be distracted by gaming. Ugh.
Yeah. I got a compliment yesterday. I had to make our trip to Aldi to try and get some food in, so we're trying to go as little as often. So I'm going like once every 2 weeks and just doing a massive shop. Obviously not bulk buying things. I'm not
even
one of those people.
That's stressful, right?
Oh man, it was so stressful being there. Yeah. Everyone's like queuing around the car park because they can't fit in. Everyone's it was just horrible. But I got in and I filled up the conveyor belt of stuff. Yeah. And the guy said in Aldi, I don't know if it's different in different stores, but he was saying that you can't pack it in the bags. You have to just put it back in the trolley. And
right.
You have to then wheel it. Yeah, you then have to wheel it over out the way, and
then pack it.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because buying. Yeah, because people are buying a lot and more than they normally would. But I had the whole conveyor belt full of stuff for like a 2-week shop with all the essentials that we needed.
And a million nappies.
Yeah, I only got 2, because this is the thing, you're restricted, right? I'm not one of those people that will buy up all the toilet roll.
How many nappies do you use a week? Do you know what I mean?
Quite a lot.
It's loads in it,
yeah. The way Violet's going through them at the moment, she's an absolute poo and wee machine at the moment. But I was packing up the trolley as quick as I could, and the guy actually doing the till, he turned to me and said, "Did you play a lot of Tetris when you were a kid?"
What?
And I said, yeah, I did play a lot of Tetris when I was a kid. He said, I was looking at that conveyor belt. He said, no way I thought he's going to fit all of that stuff back in that trolley.
Oh my god!
And I said, yeah. I said, look at my mum and dad who told me, oh, those games will do nothing for you.
They rot your brain.
Rot your brain. I'm sat here with the Tetris theme going through my head. Absolutely smashed that packet. There goes the spuds. Oh, we got a difficult one. Coming down. It's the carrots. It's the bag of carrots.
Oh, how the hell do you fit that in? Yeah. Oh god.
That was quite funny. I just thought, you know that gaming's in your blood. When someone's asking you, did you play Tetris as a kid when you're packing a shopping trolley?
That is brilliant. I haven't had any Tetris related comments. And my shopping in Tesco's has been very, very stressful. I don't know what's wrong with people. People are like, I went yesterday and it was awful. People are completely ignoring all the one-way stuff that Tesco's have set up. And they've done a really good job. They've got people. They've kind of made it so that you can only walk in one direction up an aisle and all that kind of stuff. And people are just ignoring it, and they're just like, whatever. And so you're walking up an aisle the right way, and there's people walking towards you, and you're like, what's wrong with you? Like, how thick can you get? But yeah, this whole thing is it's bizarre. It's bizarre. But yeah, I won't get into shopping. It's not the podcast for shopping, right?
This is not the shopping channel.
No,
I just it was more the Tetris. It was more the Tetris
I love
story
that,
I was
That's
going
brilliant.
for.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
The only thing that I bought that was a little bit out there and kind of took us back a few years was I bought some Lego from Tesco's for Charlie, and it was a Lego car. It's like a I don't know, Ferrari, I think it was, and it was, I don't know, it's only about this big, and he absolutely loved it. It's not gaming, nice. But it's took us back, and I bought him another one yesterday, so he's getting back into Lego a bit, bizarrely.
Oh god, so you now open that can of worms.
No, exactly. But he spent the majority of his lockdown playing Fortnite with his friends. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's been speaking to his friends every single day. without fail. And different groups of friends as well. He'll play with one group of friends 1 minute and then another group of friends the next. And actually, he's really got into streaming during this time. So he's been streaming Fortnite every day, basically,
nice.
since all this happened. And there's some...
But he's got no problems with his CPU.
No. Well, he plays on my PC. It's like I spent all this money for him to stream on my PC. But yeah, no, that side of things is really nice because people have started to join his stream. He's got to getting to know people who he never would have got to know before, and they're coming to every single one of his streams and chatting to him and all this kind of stuff. So it's really nice. There's a lot of kids out there that just want to be able to join a non-toxic kind of stream, and that's exactly what he's doing. So it's nice. So yeah,
that's awesome. And again, it's another positive that's come out of this. I mean, like you said, I've had friends of mine who've all got kids, and they're all saying how brilliant it's been that they've had without Fortnite's still go-to one of it. Yeah. But I also had a friend of mine who came up to me yesterday and said, "Oh, how much do you reckon a PlayStation 4 would cost second hand?"
Oh, right.
And I kind of said to him, "Oh, what, have you broken the other one?" And he said, "No, I feel like I should get one.
Oh man,
and then I can join in."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, and then I can because you can then.
Oh, he wants to join in. Oh, I see.
Yeah, because one of his kids has got the Switch, one of them's got the PlayStation, so they play on Fortnite at the same time together.
Yeah.
And he was thinking, if I get a PlayStation, then I can actually engage with my kids and play games with them as well, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
There are loads of positives to take out of it. Quick questions for you, Mark.
Ooh, quick questions.
Because I'm aware of time. So
yeah, we've done just over an hour in the recording stakes. So
these can just be, don't think about them too much, just quick responses.
Quick fire, go for it.
If this lockdown doesn't end and we're in lockdown forever,
yes.
From which each category, one game you would be able to take with you into lockdown. So what shooter would you take in with you? And I've given no thought to these, by the way, at all, the answers to this. I've just written the question down like we always do on this podcast, and we're just firing from the hip.
Oh my god. Relevant, I'm going to say Turok.
Yeah, good guess. I guessed it. Good answer.
Yeah. What about you?
Just go with what you know. Oh, you're thinking the question back at me.
Yeah, we've obviously both got one.
I would go for a shooter. I would go for Far Cry 4. Far Cry 4. I think I would go for.
I don't know why I said Turok. I would hate to take that game into lockdown permanently.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
It'd be awful. No, in all seriousness, probably the new Call of Duty. I was blown away by that. Amazing.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I did enjoy that. I did enjoy it. Yeah. Racing game, dude. Racing game.
Probably just Mario Kart 8. Simple, easy.
Yeah, do you know what? I think I'd go Mario Kart. I was thinking maybe would I Racer, or actually no, I'm lying. I know what I'd go for. Burnout Paradise.
Oh, good game.
I would go for Burnout Paradise as my racing game.
Yeah.
Platform game. Any platform game you like.
A platform game that I've always wanted to complete, which I obviously never have done, is Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo.
Oh my god!
One of the hardest games I've ever played. Right, but I think if I could only play that, I would complete it. If I was dedicated to that. I say that, and everyone's going, "You're an idiot, Mark. You're never going to complete that game."
That's like the idea of gaming hell, being stuck in lockdown for the rest of your life.
So when you say platformer, are you talking about 2D platformer or 3D platformer?
Just anything with platforms. It's not really you're not going to be graded on the answer. It's just more of whatever you fancy, really.
Probably. In all seriousness, if this counts, this.
Oh, hang on, he is pulling something up.
Super Mario 3D World.
Super Mario 3D
on the
World.
Wii U, is a game that is phenomenal. I love it, and it's one of my favourite Mario games for a long, long time. Much better than Mario Odyssey, in my opinion. And I would take that. Is that classed as a platformer? Yeah. That's mine. What about you?
I, off the top of my head, would go for the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy again.
Ah, nice.
Just because I loved it. I've that game, in terms of the of a platformer as such, is a game that I have played through. I've played through that trilogy twice now in the last couple of years, and loved it. So I'd quite happily play that again. I'd happily play that again. This one's a tough category. Point and click.
Ooh.
I don't even know if you're a massive point and click.
I have my go-to when it comes to point and click, which is The Secret of Monkey Island.
Yes. Okay, right. We're on the same wavelength for that then.
Yeah. I love that game.
I had 3, I think. I think they're all LucasArts. So it was Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was stuck between Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, Monkey Island. I mean, it could be many of the Monkey Islands, but you go over the first Monkey Island, I think. I think we're both in agreement. Guybrush Threepwood, what a man.
That makes me want to play it again. I haven't played that in so long.
It's tough. I tried to get the remake.
Really tough.
Well, because I remember being a kid playing that, and this was when the internet first came out.
Yeah.
And I remember having to go on forums to try and ask people questions about how they figured out things. And, I am rubber, you are glue. Do you remember that? Oh man.
Oh God.
Trying to get the right.
I don't know how I got through it, because I had it on the Amiga, like way back, and I got through the whole game. I have no idea how. Literally no idea. I think I used magazines and stuff like that for tips, and do you know what I mean? We didn't have the internet back then, so
no, those were the thing. That was the thing. Kids nowadays don't know how hard it was. It was so hard, so hard. Just two more categories. Your one linear game, so one like story driven game,
like a Telltale game type thing.
I'll give you a series. So like if you said to me like the Uncharted series.
Okay. I mean, would like a Telltale game count? Something like that?
I guess so.
That's a story game?
Story, yeah. I said linear, but more like story-driven. A story-driven game.
Story-driven. Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, I really enjoyed Spider-Man. Does that count?
That would be more, I would say, more sandbox, but okay.
I mean, the Uncharted games were amazing.
The next category is sandbox, so you can put Spider-Man in there, right. Sandbox.
I mean, the Uncharted games are amazing. Like, that series, you could play those over and over again, couldn't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a really good shout, actually, and you put the game in my mouth.
Okay, so you're going to go for the Uncharted. I'm going to go similar. I'm going to go the last. Replaying that, The Last of Us Remastered.
Amazing.
The other month was so good. So I forgot how great that game was, and it really is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one was Sandbox, but you covered that with Spider-Man.
Would I go Spider-Man though? Because I would change it. If it's Sandbox, I loved GTA 5. That was
nice.
That's a game cool. I could probably because there's so many different ways that you can complete that game, and so many different sort of side missions and everything else. You could play that game forever. Do you know what I mean? It's.
I would go for The Witcher 3.
Ooh, nice.
I never got to complete it, and after the TV series has got me hyped again for it. I want to go back and play it at some point. But yeah, I'd probably take The Witcher 3 with me just to finally be able to finish it.
I bought it, never played it.
I played it for about 5 or 6 hours. Loved it, but it was at that stage where I was hopping from game to game.
Right. Okay.
And I was new to the streaming thing, and I kind of was jumping around. It was before we do it like we do it now, where we play through a whole game from start to finish.
Yeah.
And so I never got to see the end of it. I never got to finish it.
Oh man!
I might have to go back. I might have to go back at some point.
I don't think anyone would mind if you played that on stream. Do you know what I mean? You could even mix it up and do that one day a week, on top of everything else you're doing. Do you know what I mean?
Possibly, but we've got so much going on. I mean, first of all, we've got to find a new CPU from somewhere.
Oh my god, is that stream still going? Did you leave it going?
It's still going. I don't think anyone can watch because, quite frankly, it's
unwatchable. There's still 6 people on there. Amazing.
But the good thing is we're a podcast, so you can listen.
Yeah.
To us, which is the main thing. We'll sort this out. This will get sorted out. The whole CPU
I'm going to edit this massively.
Yeah, it won't be an issue. Come next month when we do it, it'll get sorted out.
Yeah.
We could just quickly talking about the future. I know that we're going to wrap this up because you guys are thinking it's an hour and 12 minutes, and these two have been talking a lot. I just wanted to throw in there a little teaser about stuff that we've talked about for you guys to know that's coming up, as well as us redoing the podcast, which we are, and streaming it live, which we're going to try to maintain, but if not, we'll do videos of it. We're going to be setting up a YouTube channel for me and Mark, with the idea being that these podcasts will be archived to the YouTube channel, so you guys, if you miss them, or if you don't listen, you prefer watching, you can come watch the show. Prefer to listen to it. And also we're going to be aiming, again, this is all being said before we've had the streaming issues, me and Mark are going to be aiming to do co-op streams of games, which will then be archived over onto the TNM podcast YouTube channel.
Well, see, I can stream that.
There you go. Mark
That'd be
can
fine.
set that up.
And
Mark
I can stream
straight.
and I can stream to the YouTube channel when we do the podcast again. So I don't know whether you need you need to shell out any money at this stage. It just depends on your appetite for that and how much money.
I'm on a six-figure contract, Mark. So money doesn't really, at this point.
All the other people at your work are like, what?
Yeah. They don't listen to this.
Oh, you mean 6-figure on the T&M? Oh my god. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Temporarily, I wasn't angry.
He's loved me back in again to liking him.
Exactly.
He does this every time.
Every time.
Yeah, so those are a few things that you guys who are listening to this or watching this back, will hopefully see in the next month or so. We're gonna we haven't spoken about it in its entirety, but they're in the pipeline for getting those things going, which I'm absolutely buzzing about, because genuinely I've loved, even all the technical issues aside, I've loved doing this again, mate, because I've missed it massively. And it's just a nice way of chatting and airing stuff that we've found out about over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
So should we now after this episode move back to the schedule, like go with the sex and video games episode that we were gonna do?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, we can do that next one.
Yeah. And I think the way things are at the moment, we could do this anytime. Do you know what I mean? Really, just an hour out of a day is nothing really.
It's nothing, is it? No. And that's absolutely fine by me. I think we'll do sex and video games next time, and hopefully if we stream it live via Mark's computer,
we can do it onto the YouTube channel.
We can do it onto the YouTube channel.
It
should work okay. People should be able to talk to us and get their questions and stuff in. So we'll have a bit more community feedback, which will be good. And that'll be it. We'll wrap up the show there, Mark.
Sounds ideal.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, mate.
You can catch us. Don't forget, look at the link to the on Twitter at the T&M Pod. That's where you can catch us on Twitter to give us feedback and just stay in touch with us when we're not doing this. Do you want to say goodbye?
Yeah, thank you to everyone that joined Tom's channel, and thank you in advance to everyone that listens to this on Spotify or whatever. We really appreciate any feedback you can give us, so please tweet us, as Tom said, because it helps us to sort of plan the future episodes and stuff like that, see what you're enjoying and everything else. Just very happy to be doing this again, and I think we can do much more remotely like this. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, plus we can both just do it in our pants.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not even wearing pants.
Oh my god. On that note, guys, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you for sex in video games next time. Bye.